We're live! You guys want to see my hair? Look at this. This is why I wear a hat. That's why I'm wearing a hat. I need a haircut real bad. Today's video is going to be a radio mod. I'm going to show you guys how to modify your Ethix Mambo to be heated. Because why not? A little background is I used to fly with the X9D and I had done a heater mod on the back. And there's like an old video that I watched for how to do it. It was really simple. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic to have. And now that I've been rocking this for about a year, it's time. I mean, we're in the dead of winter. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that on this and take you along for the ride. Before we dive in, you're going to need a few things, which is 30 gram, 250 feet of nichrome 80 wire. Make sure you get that. It's like $8, and I'll put a link in the description. Also, you'll need a very dirty electrical tape roll. Make sure you got a lot of this because we're going to need it. Basically, we're going to inlay this into the back of the radio. We are not going to cross it at all. We're going to put layers of electrical tape to make sure that it doesn't cross unless it has to. And we're going to need a method of connecting it to a battery, which is either going to be an XT60 or a barrel connector. I think we'll try an XT60 first and see how it does. And then if not, I'll go to the barrel connector. And yeah, we're going to dive right into it. If you're interested, stick around. I'll show you how it's done. Let's do it. So I took this off, we cleaned it up. It looks pretty good. I had a bunch of like junk and sand and dirt in here from just regular use. So now we're gonna start on the heating element. I'm trying to route this away from the rubber, just in case this thing does get uncontrollably hot. I just want it to be not melting the rubber. So quick update, we've got it kind of tacked in all the places that I want it to be. So before I seal everything up, obviously I'm gonna cover all the exposed wire because we don't want anything coming loose. But as I'm wrapping up, I realized that I could do a better job on the sides because that's where the grips are. So I might do a once over around the edge again, and then we'll feed it back out. So let's do it. All right, so now we've got the extra line running along the grips, and I managed to get everything wired up out the back. So next is going to be wiring up some actual wires. I've got some wire. I've got an XT60 connector. I'm going to use this for the test, at least for now. So yeah, I'm going to get this soldered up, and then we'll do our first heat test. I'm thinking at some point I might drill a hole here or something and route this a little bit better so I'm not eating up my port. But for now, let's just see how it works, see if it blows up, see if anything melts, and we'll get to it. Quick update, we've got a very scary XT60 connected up to the leads. I'm gonna make sure that these are separated out, although I think it's actually okay if they cross, but I've gone through and made sure nothing's touching. So we're gonna do our heat test, and we'll see how hot it gets with a older battery. I think I'm gonna try it with what is technically a 5S at this point, or maybe something older. We are powered. So far, so good. I'm getting a little warmth out of it. I'm not getting what I was expecting. Yeah, I mean, technically this is a 5S battery right now. It's a dead cell on a 6. So I might go up to a 6 cell and see, but I want to give it a little more time because it's only been on for a few minutes here, but I think by now I would have felt the heat coming through, although it's very, very subtle. I switched this out for a 6 cell. I'm still using the smoke stopper, but I am noticing a big difference with a 6 cell battery. It's not burning my fingers, but it is nice and warm. I'm probably gonna charge up a battery, and then, because this one's kind of dying, and then I'll try it without the smoke tester, but otherwise, I think this is ready to go. Before we finish wrapping this up, just want to do a little bit of a fit test here. Let's see how we do. Actually, that fits really nicely. Yup. That's beautiful. Yeah, once I screw it together, you won't even be able to tell. I just need to figure out a different way to route the wiring out the back. I was contemplating doing a switch of some kind, but honestly, I think I'm just gonna mount the XT60 connector on the back somewhere and call it a day. So I could just plug a battery in and it'll start heating. Super simple. Okay, yet another update. I think I'm actually going to change directions here because I don't know. I mean, this sticking up the back, just at first I thought I wouldn't mind it, and it doesn't even touch like where my fingers go, but I think it's just gonna get knocked off, and obviously got a gaping hole. So I'm going to change tactics and steal my barrel connector of my old radio. And then, yeah, I'll have to figure out a way to fill this in a little bit, or worst case scenario, you know, I get another shell, repaint it, and do it all over again. But I think I'm going to be able to salvage this, and I'll just make it look as good as I can. I got epoxy too, so maybe I'll just fill it with that. All right, so this is probably one of the last updates I'll do, but we got this in. This is from the old radio. It's actually really nice and flush. I think this is gonna work a lot better. I just need to epoxy it into place, which I'm gonna do soon. But first I'm gonna test it again. Everything's pretty much bundled up. I might do a little more taping, but overall this thing's pretty solid, I think. So yeah, my next test is I'm gonna plug a 6S into this, or maybe I'll do the 5S first. And we'll see how warm it gets. I think it's gonna actually be significantly warmer than it was, because I had these long leads before for my testing. So that's a significant amount of wire that's not being used anymore. So I think this thing's gonna warm up a bit more. The saga continues. All right, so we are running this. I've had this plugged in for probably 10 minutes, and it is nice and warm. It's not overbearingly hot. If I had to guess, it's about 100 degrees. So it's a really nice, yeah, this feels good. I'm happy with this, especially when you're outside and it's freezing. This is gonna be great. All right, so that's gonna be the end of the video. I think this is a well worth mod. I mean, if you live in cold climates and you don't want to freeze your hands off while you're out there, this thing is freaking awesome. It is nice and warm to the touch still, and is really easy to do. It's like two things, tape and wire. So I'm gonna drop a link in the description for what I used and how you could get it in case you want to take this on for yourself. My tip is just plan it out, take your time, don't rush it, figure out how you're gonna lay everything in. I made sure not to cross the wires at all, and I made sure to drop tape in between each layer if things did cross over. I don't think that that's necessary, but this kind of stuff, it's not really worth the risk. And then in regards to the back mod, I mean, this came out really well. I epoxied it into place and it's good to go. So if you have not subscribed yet, please do. Something like 80% of the people that watch this channel aren't subscribed, and I don't know why. You should join me, and I'll catch you on the next video. I'm ready for the cold, baby. Heated back to my radio. And this thing is nice and toasty. If I had to guess, it's like 120 degrees, or like 100 degrees. It's nice. So it's only been on for a few minutes, and I guess we'll see how hot it gets, but I'm stoked.